Alrighty guys, we're back for Bant enchantments, and this is a foundation standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Okay, so it's Selesnya enchantments, but we're splashing blue in here for Witness Protection and Entity Tracker here. So Entity Tracker is a 2-of in here. It's a 3 mana, 2/3 with flash. Okay, it's eerie. So whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, draw a card. You know what that doesn't say? That doesn't say once per turn, right? So not bad. I think it's actually going to be terrific. And we also have Witness Protection. It's a 1 mana enchantment aura. You enchant a creature, loses all abilities, and it's a green-white citizen creature with base power toughness 1/1, and it's a legitimate business person. Awesome. It loses all of their colors, card types, creature types, and names as well, which actually should be really cool, especially against those demon builds that we've been seeing. Oh, guys, there's another reason to splash blue in here. Actually, more important than these cards, Gremlin Tamer. This is a 2 mana, 2/2 Rock and Azorus colors up there. It has Eerie, so whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, you create a 1/1 red Gremlin creature token. So pretty neat way to actually go wide here. And then we have some pretty neat ways to actually boost our wide board state with Anthem of Champions, making the cut as a 3-of actually. It's a 2 mana enchantment rocking Selesnya colors. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Yeah, nice, clean ability. Nothing fancy going on here. I think it's going to be excellent. It's going to be a great one to copy with Calix, of course. So Calix, Guided by Fate, 3 mana. 2/2 legendary enchantment creature with Constellation. So whenever this enters or another enchantment you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And then whenever Calix or enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn. Now I know we've been seeing Calix for a while, right? But it's so important in here that I still wanted to read it out completely. Like, it is going to be that important in the build. Okay, guys, other enchantment things that we do actually get to see all the time that I won't read is like Sheltered by Ghosts, right? So all 4 of them making the cut. It's going to be a very good removal. We have all 4 Shardmage's Rescue too. Protection's pretty darn important. This is a good one, especially since it's attached to an enchantment working with all of our Eerie abilities. Optimistic Scavenger, all those extra +1/+1 counters really come in handy, especially if you also have a Calix out there too. My goodness, we have Ethereal Armor as well, and just growing our creatures beyond what most opponents can actually deal with. And then you better give those creatures trample. We have 3 Audacities in here too, and then we do have a top end, but we have to do some rearranging actually. So we're actually looking at the Grand Entryway side of this room. So Grand Entryway is just 2 mana enchantment room. When you unlock this door, you create a 1/1 white glimmer enchantment creature token. So it might be a little bit of a janky pick. However, I think 2 enchantments for the price of 1, when we have so many of these Eerie abilities, right? It specifically says enters. It doesn't say like when you cast an enchantment and stuff. But you have 2 enchantments entering at the same time. You're doubling down on all of your Eerie abilities. Just think that's going to be really good. And then we did need more ways to have more creatures on the board too. So getting a little bunny rabbit glimmer, right? That's not actually a rabbit glimmer, but I'm talking about the artwork. Anyways, guys, the other side of this room is 3 mana. Whenever you unlock this door, you put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures, which honestly could really come in handy, huh? The mana base. All right. 3 color mana bases are rough, but hopefully we landed on something here. Even though it's trying its dandiest to be an aggressive build, we actually do have the Hedge Mage in here, mainly because it's also a forest and an island. The Surveil will come in handy every now and then, but we need it to be either a forest or an island because it works well with the Verge, and the Verge is going to be a very good in here. Floodfarm Verge is only a white source until you control a plains or an island. Okay, and then it's just a really good Azorus dual land. Then the Hushwood Verge is only a green source until you control a forest or a plains. And then it's just a really good Selesnya dual land, right? So, yeah, these 3 lands put together should be pretty darn good. Hopefully, the Verges don't end up holding us up too much today. We also have Valgavoth's Lair. Again, triple color mana bases, man. I'll tell you what, Lair should help us do the thing, and hopefully it does it well enough to warrant even more tapped land in our aggro deck list. So you get to choose a color when it enters, then you can tap it, to add a mana of the chosen color. However, it does enter tapped. It does have hexproof, which is cool, but more importantly than two, it's an enchantment land. So when it enters as an enchantment land, you'll be activating all those area abilities. And we have a little bit of a split between islands and forests, as well as just leaning towards the plains, because that's what the deck list is leaning towards. Hopefully, I landed on something here. There is a reason I went over the mana base this time, though, earlier, instead of waiting till the end of the video. Got some honorable mentions. Unable to Scream could be your choice over Witness Protection. However, I'm opting for Witness Protection because it gets rid of that creature type as well, which I do think is actually going to be pretty darn important. I thought about the ward creatures that we're seeing in the Selesnya version of this deck list. Not this time around, but also like, how would we have found room for these? You know what I mean? Feather of Flight is a pretty darn good one. More removal like Trapped in the Screen could have been awesome. And then Overlord of the Mistmoors could have been a really cool top end for this build, but not this time around. Okay, guys. I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. Right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? This should probably be janky, but boy, we got some good cards packed in. So we'll see. Oh, no creatures. Oh, that's probably not going to be completely unheard of. The mana's great, but we can't keep this, right? Yeah, no, we should. Oh, man, I'm really tempted. A couple turns to set up, right? If we draw into some creatures, but no. We should mulligan. There we go. Okay, awesome. And again, the mana in hand is actually really good. So what are we sending here? I think the Audacity. No, I'm actually going to send the Ethereal Armor. And I hope that's okay. I'm basing it off the mana in hand too. Yeah, I hope that's okay. Yeah, I don't want to send the creature. Okay, Optimistic Scavenger. I'm going to keep that. Yeah, I was tempted by the Entity Tracker too, because we're actually farthest away from that, but... Right, so I'm going to try the Tamer and hope that we're not up against, like, Selesnya mid-range. Okay, they do pass it back, though. That's great news. Maybe we go right into the Sheltered. On the stack, they pop the thing. We won't get the Gremlin then at that point. So I guess the Optimistic Scavenger, and then we'll attempt the Audacity. I don't want to put all my eggs into one Gremlin basket. So it's going to be a little bit of an awkward turn. Okay, nothing is sticking here, guys. So I guess we could have pushed through an extra couple points of damage, but I still think it was worthwhile spreading out. Overlord, okay. Okay, mana off the top is actually pretty good. We have to be ready, since they ramped here, we have to be ready for Sunfall next turn. We might just keep the Entity Tracker open, guys. We could push some excess damage. We got 7 on the board. We'd have an extra 2 with Audacity, extra 1 off of Scavenger. It's Entity Tracker, though. We have to play around this board wipe. The first one, at least. Yeah. Because if they miss the board wipe, it's still going to be a great Entity Tracker turn right at the end of their turn. Okay. It's Surveil Land. Overlord. Yeah. Yeah. It was so worth keeping the Entity Tracker open here. Okay. Got to get the Entity Tracker down. And Audacity gives Trample to something here, which I guess it'll be any of them. We draw off the Entity Tracker. And then Sheltered by Ghost will also go on to... ooh. That's pretty good, too. Sheltered by Ghost, of course, taking one of the tokens. They're tapped out, too, so we can pretty much put this onto any of the trampling creatures. And then we full swing. All right, guys. Got 10 trampling damage. with another 3 on the Gremlin Tamer. That's probably the chump. And then it's 11 getting through. Cool stuff, man. It was still, like, they missed the board wipe, but it was so worth playing around that board wipe, I would say. Also, maybe they were thinking we don't need to wipe the board just yet because we have chump blockers. That's also possible because the entity tracker was a surprise. It was a surprise extra creature. Oh, heck yeah, I had fun. Yeah, that's what you like to see when you're up against those mid-range deck lists that are rocking all the overlords and stuff. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Based on that, I mean, I can't ask for a better lineup. Like, everything really lined up nicely, but that might be how the deck list draws too. We'll find out, won't we? It might just have some really clean, it might just be a really clean curve overall. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? All right, no green. No creatures again in the opener. Okay, we should mulligan. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. I mean, we'll send the Tamer. Feels a little bad, I guess, but we'll just play it out like we're Selesnya for now. Oh, Verges. When I was going over the deck list, guys, I said I hope the Verge doesn't hold us up too often. The Verge is actually just a green source until we see something. Crap. All right, let's go down to 5. Let's do it. I don't do that very often. Here we go. Here we go. Crap. Okay, what do we send? One of the lands for sure. I think with this hand, we want to keep... Right. I guess we send the Hushwood Verge. And we are pretty far from the entity tracker then if we only got the 2. Well, not pretty far, but you guys know what I mean. I don't want to send the entity tracker though. It's going to be the Audacity. We got green. Okay. All right, down to 5. Let's start with the Surveil. All right, I'll keep that on top. I'm afraid that if we send it, we could find more mana. That's when it comes time for turn 3, we'll have the entity tracker. Then we have to immediately start to reestablish our hand with the card draw. Oh, swamp. Crap. No? Yes? No? Crap. Oh no, guys. Oh no. Okay. We just pass it back. Listen, we could be playing around a ghost. It might not be cut down. Maybe we could have established the Gremlin Tamer. But if we go Gremlin Tamer, they drop cut down. We're like out of this game without perfect draws. Deep Cavern Bat. No, get out of my hand, opponent. No. We're in danger, dude. They should take the Tamer, especially now that they're tapped out. Oh, they take the... Oh, they're not afraid of the Tamer at all. So more mana there. Could have been Tamer and then get around the cut down, but now we have to worry about getting around all their other removal spells as well. All right, I guess we try it, man. Should we have tried it turn 1? I don't think so. I don't know. I think it was okay to have a little bit of patience there. Probably want to take the sheltered this time. Yeah, they do. And then they swing. They got that swamp. Okay, we do find some mana. Right. So they keep the cut down open because they want to get some of these enchantments out of our hand too, right? I guess we'll start with Ethereal Armor because I think I value the Audacity a little bit more for when we find a creature. So there's the cut down, guys. I'm pretty sure it was already in their hand anyways. All right, cleanly picked apart, and I greedily mulliganed down to 5. However, I do think that our 5-card hand was much better than the other hands too, so might have been worthwhile, maybe not though. Hey guys, when you put a Deep Cavern Bat into Witness Protection, what happens to the card underneath the Deep Cavern? How does that work? I don't know, man. I've only played Magic once before, so okay, it just kind of like chills. Okay, all right, because it loses the ability. So that Deep Cavern Bat is now a legitimate business person, which would have been much better for the demon. But guys, let's be real. We're like, oh wow, Scavenger was actually a really good draw. But anyways, we're pretty far out of this game. But the Scavenger was a good draw, and with the Audacity, we get it around a cut down, but we know that Mono Black has other ways to remove creatures. Of course, they can't swing with their legitimate business person. Now that this is gone, right? Now that the ability on the legitimate person is gone, does it also lose that ability where when this leaves the battlefield? So would the entity tracker just remain exiled if that bat's removed? I don't know right now, honestly. All right, we'll go ahead and let the opponent play it on out just for fun. It's totally fine. And maybe they'll swing with the slasher too, and we'll get a block, and I guess we'll die before we get to see the card draw on the Audacity, but still. Go ahead, opponent. Go ahead. Go on in, buddy. Good game. We got completely picked apart. Oh, man. Let's hope that we see something in our 7-card opener this time round, too, because that was 2 games in a row where we kind of... I don't want to say we had to mulligan. Oh, no. Oh, game. We don't talk about that one. The game is very concerned with my well-being right now, for some reason. That's funny. Yeah, if we went Tamer turn 1, cut down, I think it all would have played out exactly the same. So I am glad that I ended up having some patience with the Tamer, because there was a chance then with that patience that things would have worked out in our favor a little bit better. Oh wow, guys, the opening hands have been bad. The opening hands have been very bad. Right, so mulligan. Yep. Ooh, 2 Valgavoth's Lair. Probably white and green. We could send the Tamer. The Tamer's great with the Grand Entryway, but... Alright, I'll try it. Yeah, 3 color mana bases, guys. Getting held up a little bit on him right now. Actually, if we just send the Audacity, I'm going to try the Gremlin Tamer this game. How do you guys feel about that? I think we have a great chance of seeing mana. I also want to try the Grand Entryway too. Yeah, we see any of our other land, and then all of a sudden the Valgavoth's Lair is... the Valgavoth's Lair, my goodness, guys, actually activates the Eerie ability on the Tamer too, so... Hopeless nightmare. Opponent, I already had a really hard time here. All right, Grand Entryway, I guess. Entity tracker. Okay. We'll call white on the first layer. Come on, mana off the top. Mana off the top. Ruthless negotiation. Goodbye, Calix. Goodbye. You're so important, but... We're calling blue on the other layer and we miss the mana. We won't have the green. We have 2 cards in hand that are blue, so... Scavenger. Not bad, but probably gets gobbled up by the cut down. But this time we play right into it, so that way our Tamer has a chance of surviving. Oh. Almost did that out of order, guys. Call blue. It was not a cut down. That's great news, man. I don't think Scavenger survives, but yeah. Goodbye, Scavenger. Oh, we do find the green source, actually. It's only green, too, because of the Verge ability, but... That means we won't have Shardmage's Rescue open, but what we'll do... Based on what we're up against, guys, we just wait till the end of their turn, drop the tracker, right? And then try to reestablish a board state a little bit. I think so. We'll see. If they have us discard more. Obliterator. Might need a Sheltered by Ghosts, but they're tapped out, so that's great news. We'll get the tracker down and see what we can draw here. All right, Floodfarm Verge. I'm going to start with the card draw on the Shardmage's Rescue, but at that point I'd want to have the Tamer on the board too, so we actually just play the Verge, get the Gremlin Tamer down, and keep the Rescue as actual protection. The problem is, this Obliterator's rough, man. So hopefully we draw right into one of our Sheltered by Ghosts. Alright, let's see what they got. Fifth mana. Duress. You monster, opponent. I will try to protect the Tamer because the other card already has a target on its back. Alright, I hope that makes sense, because if we would have went on to the tracker... Right, so they got the Bitter Triumph. Darn, man. A Duress being rough. We're going to take this 5. We're getting picked apart by these very clean removal deck lists. However, in this one in particular, actually going to be discard as well. Wow, Witness Protection. Huh. Let's draw for that. That was a good draw, dude. That was a really good draw. Oh, Gremlin Tamer, but we tapped our only blue source. I guess I won't swing? Question mark? I'm like, I don't know why I'm like so confused in these matches right now. Ruthless Negotiation. Yeah, since we tapped our only blue source, they go ahead, spend all 5 mana for the flashback cost of Ruthless Negotiation, which also drew them into a swamp, it looks like. Wow, Calix is also a really good draw. Holy cow, guys. See what we see. Again, both of them have such a huge target on its back. There we go. Now that opens up the Verge for the other green source too. It's not terrible. Another blue source would be good at some point, but I guess we'll swing with the Entity Tracker. Nice. Okay. So, okay. This is silly. We might have a chance. We really might. Another Obliterator. Holy cow, dude. Bandit's Talent. Okay. We'll be powering that up soon enough. Shardmage's Rescue. We should just do it now, right? Right? We draw. We find more enchantments. We do more. Obliterator's such a problem, though. The second one. The first one's just a legitimate business person. So, which is so funny, dude. The Shardmage's Rescue. We're just doing it. We're going for it, man. Onto the Calix, I guess. Gremlin Tamer. Huh. Not bad. Right now, I don't know what we're going to do until we see some of our essential removal. But we've been drawing okay now. We could have kept the Shardmage's Rescue for their turn, but then, oh, Virtue of Persistence, go for the swing on the Obliterator probably. They do not. They're afraid of this board state, guys. Huge targets on all of their backs. So we go Audacity onto the Gremlin Tamer. And onto the Gremlin Tamer? Question mark? Ooh, Ethereal Armor. Whenever a source deals damage to Obliterator, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents of their choice. Sacrifice like all of our land and just hope that our board state's enough to deal with this, right? With Trampling First Strike, I guess we want to probably keep the tracker back. 5 with the Tamer. We want the Calix to survive a swing. Really tough, man. It's an 11-11. Actually, we will not be we will not be able to swing with that. It's another Calix. It's actually not bad, dude. We can get this first Obliterator off the board, get this through. See what we draw there. I'm sorry, opponent, dude. This is taking me forever. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Or Shardmage's Rescue could be 6 if we don't want to get rid of all the mana, right? I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea, guys, because like we have to deal with the Obliterator, but there's no guarantee that we're going to draw anything that deals with the Obliterator. So we do get to copy. So we will copy. Oh, I guess we have to sacrifice first. So 1, 2, 3. We do not want to get rid of the Witness Protection. For some reason, I thought we were going to have to get rid of 6, but I guess that's not the case because of the trample, right? Or guys, send help. My brain is not doing this very well here. So we got rid of the tapped stuff then, which I suppose makes sense. And then we don't need the Witness Protection. We can copy that, attach it to the Entity Tracker, which draws us another card, and we can plug this wide. Another Gremlin Tamer. Wow. We play as much out of our hand as possible, because they could draw into something that has us discard multiple cards anyways. Oh no, guys, the reanimation. Oh, the Virtue of Persistence. I was completely overlooking that. So we should have... No, we couldn't have full swung. Oh no, wait. Guys, I think I could have played this out much better. Hold on. If we knew Obliterator was coming back... Unholy Annex, guys. Oh no. Come on, we need one of our Sheltered by Ghosts. We really desperately need it. It's a Calix! No! So, right, we can't sacrifice 9 permanents from our swings. Maybe we just, like, play the Calix, see what we draw. We could draw something. Guys, we're in danger. We're in so much danger. Obliterator's holding this up too much. So if I would have distributed the counters a little bit... First of all, opponent, I'm thinking, buddy, what a puzzle, huh? If I would have distributed the counters a little bit better, we could have had potentially like a full swing last game, or last turn, I mean. They're going to start reanimating our cards now too, which might include the Calix as well. Get rid of Ethereal Armor. No, we don't have to do that. We go Calix, and we keep the 9/9 Calix. But we get a Gremlin, and a card draw, and some, I guess some counters to spread wide here, I would assume, is the best thing to do. Hushwood Verge, yeah, we just play it, but it's just a green source right now. The mana's been rough, to say the least. We're at 11. They sacrifice Hopeless Nightmare. What a game, man. We need a Forest or a Plains on the board for these Verge to open up. It'd be really nice if the Verge did open up to just be great dual land, but probably the Calix, right? It was still worthwhile, though, because we drew one step closer to our Sheltered by Ghost, which is kind of essential. They actually don't grab the Calix here, which is good news because they have a lot of enchantments. Oh, I guess going wide, though, for them is also pretty good. So the Tamer's still a pretty decent choice. We also have 2 more Witness Protections in here, and we desperately need to see one of those, too. Here's a 6/6. They unlocked a room, so the Tamer gets them another Gremlin. What a game, guys. Yeah, I feel like I could have played this one out better. Uh-oh, it's a Hedge Maze. I think that's it, guys. Entity Tracker, we'll send it. Darn, this could have gone either way, dude, and it might have come down to me, but I don't think so. This is one of those ones where I'll have to go back and watch. We'll just go for the swing, guys. It's over. They got 6 in the air. Even if they don't have 6 in the air, Bandit's Talent's going to do the thing. Unholy Annex is going to do the thing, too. So even if we, like, found a way to block appropriately... Yeah, if I would have distributed the counters a little bit different earlier, then there's a chance. I don't know if that actually would have done anything, though, honestly. So I don't know about that. So I guess we get rid of anything here. It's fine because it's the opponent's. It doesn't really matter. So we just get rid of our land at that point. Obliterator being an absolute menace this game, huh? Good game, opponent. Also, if I would have put all my eggs into one basket, one big old trampling basket, maybe could have trampled through, kept that creature around, sacrificed 5 other things outside of that creature, right? Right, wow. There's a lot to consider there. And I feel like, yeah, maybe I'm being too hard on myself too, because that was rough, huh? Let's go into the next one. We're going to roll this ball into some victories and into some better draws too. Like if we have to mulligan again, then we are in desperate need of changing something, I would say. Or just like more testing required too, because it is possible to play 4 games in a row where your opener isn't that great. Speaking of openers that aren't that great, I'm going to try it though. Yeah, we actually go first too. I mean, it's fine. We should try at least one game where we don't mulligan, right? Temple of Enlightenment from the opponent. We got to go fast, dude. I don't think these witness protections are going to help either, so. All right. Will my island be enough to scare the opponent away from removal on their turn? Or maybe a tapped land will be enough to scare them away from removal on their turn, right? This could easily be then like an Elspeth Smite. Ghost Vacuum. We're free to attack, guys. Sheltered by Ghosts. Ward right now isn't bad. Pick up the Ghost Vacuum. I guess that's fine enough. Yeah. Sheltered by Ghosts. Can you explain where you were in that last game, sir? You got some explaining to do, huh? Oh man, actually, a Sheltered by Ghost probably would have just propelled us into that victory in that last one, huh? This is just a green source, guys. So far, the mana base has been brutal. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it, man. I mean, they don't have the ward right now, so. Down to 11. Maybe we're okay. Okay. It's a tapped land, so the great news here is it's not a Day of Judgment. We pass it back. There we go. Wow. Holy cow. All right, so this is another white source. Well, thanks to the Verge on the board, of course, right? Sheltered by Ghosts, I'm going to send. We're going to try to win this turn with the other sheltered. Be careful. Other Sheltered by Ghosts, and then the other Ethereal Armor as well. Want to get the ward up as far as possible here, because if it's removal, it's spot removal for now. 3 mana deal with this Scavenger just doesn't seem. 3 mana counterspell does in fact seem likely. However, this is still going to be enough here. Swing for 13. Whew. Not bad, guys. Not bad. Okay, first of all 4 Hedge Mages. For a reason, dude, when we got all 4 of the other Verge, too. The Hedge Mage being just terrific mana there. So far, with how we're drawing and everything, I think we're just better off going Selesnya, but this is pretty cool, right? Maybe just some alternate ways to mana fix, too. In the past, we went a different route for the Bant enchantments. We went with, or at the very least we talked about it. I actually don't remember if we did a video for this deck list, but we went for that elf that drew every time you played an artifact, and then every time you played an enchantment, it got counters, or the opposite of that. I forget right now. Either way, we talked about Cornucopia for that deck list as mana fixing, but yeah, now we're talking, dude. We go first. Yes. Yes. We probably go for the turn 1 Scavenger, even though there's still a chance that they even though there's a chance that they're still gonna pop it with whatever their turn 1 is. We still go for it, right? Nice, it passes back, so Shardmage's Rescue is now open. Verge is green. I kind of just want to go Hedge Maze for the turn, though. Keep the rescue open. That way we have a turn 3 tracker that can draw us into more. We don't need more mana right now. Nothing. Nothing from the opponent. Not going to stop me from just keeping that as protection, though. All right, they pass it back. It's going to be Verge. Entity Tracker is going to be the play, probably. Start with the swing, see what happens. So, Hornlock Whale. Okay. Right? We let that. We'll put it on top. That's fine. Entity Tracker now or at the end of their turn? The counterspell could be bad, but removal is also pretty bad. We'll try the end of their turn. Because if it is a counterspell, then we have a couple scavengers hitting the board too, with, again, the Shardmage's Rescue open. Hey, speaking of Cornucopia, hi! I guess we still wait till the end of their turn. Alright, nothing for the tracker. That's good news. Verge comes down. See, look at how good the mana base is once you actually have a Hedge Maze. My goodness, huh? So do we play around a board wipe? We probably want to, but we're going to be restocking our hand here too. Right. Right. I'm not going to play around it. I'm just going to risk it. We're going to go for it, man. We're going to go for it. Maybe we can get this entity tracker above whatever board wipes they're playing anyways, right? So for 6/5, Shardmage's Rescue available in hand. Yeah, ill-timed explosion or something, we might be able to get the entity tracker above whatever their discard is, I hope, right? We'll see. We'll try. See what their discard is. We can give it +3 to its toughness, so as long as it's 7 mana or less discard. I'm on the edge of my seat, opponent. I'm on the edge of my seat. All right. Ill-timed explosion. It is 5. So 1, 2. Yeah, we get a boost of 3 to whatever we want. It's just going to be onto the entity tracker, guys. It is. We're going to lose the scavengers. GG opponent. Wow. I'm actually surprised because all we had was a chunky tracker. They didn't know what was in our hand. We only had 1 card remaining, too. There we go, guys. We got the deck win rate up to a 60%. I think we're going to end on a high note. Ill-timed explosion for 5. The concede also might have been like they had a chunkier thing in hand and they regret sending just the Roxanne, right? Either way, they were still at 14. We only had 1 card in hand. So I guess, yeah, I'm a little surprised by the concede because they still could have found a way. But I guess it also depends what else was in their hand, too. What if they only had mana? Then I guess that could have been a reason to potentially concede. All right. Let's go over the deck list. Wait a minute. End of video pack. Yeah, 2 of them. Murders at Karlov Manor. Cool. Ooh, a mythic. Oh, Undergrowth Recon. I don't think I've played with this yet. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Probably too slow for what it's trying to do, right? There's probably a reason I haven't played with that yet. All right, Foundations pack, we got Electro Duplicate. That's my 4th one, guys. Well, at some point, we'll try that out, I suppose. Bant Enchantments. Guys, I forget if I went over... Oh, that was my 3rd recon, too. Huh. Anyways, I forget if I went over it in the middle of those games there, but we do got that down in the description. We have the Discord link as well as the Patreon link, too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Then also, if you liked the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well, because it really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. And also, I apologize if I'm just repeating myself, and I actually did say it earlier. I forget, especially when I record multiple videos in the same day. I forget, like, was it the last video or was that actually this video that I said that? Anyways, Grand Entryway. Darn it, we didn't get to do the thing with it today. And again, it might be a janky pick, but really just like And this is like for any deck list. Cards that are like 2 cards for the price of 1, even if they're a little bit weaker, just 2 cards hitting the board, price of 1 card. I've always really liked that. And I like the Grand Entryway a lot. I like that it's only common too. I think that's really nice. And a deck list that has some rares like Anthem of Champions. We didn't get to see this today, guys. And it's my thumbnail for the YouTube video. Crap. Well, at least it's in the deck list, right? This is exactly what happened when we played Big Red Artifacts recently, too. I made the thumbnail with Darksteel Colossus, and we actually didn't get to play with it. But either way, Anthem of Champions is still trying to do the thing with the Gremlin Tamer. Like the deck list is still trying to do that. We're still trying to copy it with the Calix and everything, too. And anything we're copying with the Calix is going to be incredible, dude. Like, honestly, like we even know how powerful it is and how simple it is just to copy in Audacity too. So yeah, not bad. Also with Calix too, a copy of non-legendary enchantment you control. It doesn't say non-land or anything, so you can totally copy the Valgavoth's Lair if you needed more mana onto the board too. The mana was rough, bro. The mana was super duper rough. So what could we do? Couple Fabled Passage could go a long way. I'm not convinced that we actually need the double islands too. Down to 1 island, down 1 Valgavoth Lair, go up a couple Fabled Passage. That could really help it out, but it's still going to be a 3-color mana base. It's going to be rough sometimes, you know. We're going to have to mulligan. No matter how much fixing we do over there, we could say that the Verge is just too greedy of an option and just opt for the other fast land instead. That being said, I don't know. I do like the Verge. All right, just let me say it this way, right? First of all, I'd say put it on the craft a little bit less list. You don't have to put it on the do not craft list, right? Just craft a little bit less. Base it on your collection, but especially the mana base. So if you're like, man, I don't have any of these Verge, well, I guess at that point, opt for the other fast land. We got Botanical Sanctums and stuff like that. That'll still do the thing pretty well in here. And what we ended up seeing was the Verge did end up holding us up today. Even if you don't have those fast land, you could go for the pain land, right? Brush land, for example, the ones that do 1 damage to you. It's going to be a little risky some games. But, you know, we do have some life gain in here with Sheltered by Ghost to help you get around that. So craft a little bit less list, especially the mana base. If you don't have the Valgavoth Lair, you don't gotta craft these, dude. They'll do the thing sometimes. They'll help you mana fix sometimes. They're not necessary. Although that being said, I do think they're pretty darn cool. I don't think we actually see Valgavoth Lair in the 2 mana versions of enchantment, by the way. Like, I don't think we see Valgavoth Lair and Selesnya enchantments. I don't think we ever see this pop up, actually. So, but for 3 colors, it makes sense because it's mana fixing, but then it's also card draw and entity tracker and gremlins off of Gremlin Tamer, counters off of Calix and Scavenger as well. So, oh man. What else do I have to say about this? The mana base needs changed just a little bit, and I'm thinking like Fabled Passage could help us. Got 22 mana. Fabled Passage will still be a bit of an issue. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Just really keep an eye on this mana base, guys. More testing is required because some games it was just like the most beautiful, perfect mana that you could possibly imagine. But most of the games, it was just like, man, we are really held up right now. So I can't really tell if it's just more testing required or not. But something I would consider is dropping a Lair, dropping an island, and going up a couple Fabled Passage if you're sticking with the Verge route. Let's actually, you know, that was such an issue in those games. Let's actually spread this out and see what we're looking at here. If we're leaning plains, right, we got 79% white sources, 24% blue sources, 26% green sources. If we spread this out and we're looking at Verge as just what they are, generic colors on the top, and we never hit the bottom ability, let's pretend, right? Well, then it would look something like this. And then the dual land with the Hedge Maze, and then mana fixing with the Lair. So we would have 8 sources that are white sources. We would have 6 sources that are green sources. We'd have 2 blue sources, but then, of course, the Dual land with Hedge Maze is also green source and blue source, but we'll just count that as the blue source for now, right? I guess at that point, since we're leaning just a little bit of extra green over the blue, then that does make a little bit of sense, right? And then Valgavoth's Lair can be any of them. But then most of the time too, you hit a plains and then Verge is both. You hit a plains and then Hushwood Verge is also both, right? Flood Farm and then Hushwood. So you see any of the plains or you see any of the Hedge Maze, then you're fine with all of the Verge. This is complicated. This is a lot to think about with a mana base, and these style of mana bases are rough, man. Let me know in the comments, what would you do? Would you just go for the fast land? Maybe some pain land, right? I think that would also work pretty well. Based on how we split this up too, a forest would actually make the most sense to drop then, right? Since we already have Hushwood Verge just coming down as green, forest would be the card to drop for the Fabled Passage. Forest and maybe a Valgavoth's Lair, 2 Fabled Passage, and then the Fabled Passage helping you grab the basics that help you power up the Verge. But anyways, if you see the forest, then Hushwood becomes the Selesnya. If you see the island, then Flood Farm becomes the Azorius. Ah, that's tough, man. That's tough. At this point, I'm just rambling, but I don't think I'm going to change anything. I don't know. I don't know. See, there's a big problem with these islands in the forests, because the reason my brain automatically went to we drop an island is because in those matches that we played, we saw the island and it's just like chilling on the board and we can't cast anything out of our hand with it. We can't keep a Shardmage's Rescue open, for example, and stuff. I could actually see dropping both of these, going up a plains and going up that Fabled Passage. You know what? I just talked myself into that. The plains powers up both of the Verge. Look, I don't like changing deck lists this much at the end usually, but I do think this is necessary. How do you guys feel about that? We'll keep both Valgavoth's Lair because I actually really liked it, even though it, you know, it doesn't power up the Verges. I don't know. I kind of just like the card, I guess, honestly. But if you don't like it, we could even consider more Fabled Passage at that point too. I do think that it was relatively greedy overall. And at that point too, if you don't really like the Grand Entryway, because we didn't get to see it do the thing, this could also be a card to potentially drop though. Just 2 enchantments for the price of 1, getting you that Glimmer, but then also Tamer would give you a couple Gremlins too. So if you do drop the Grand Entryway, you want to go up a creature, some kind of creature, and preferably a creature, help you go wide a little bit too. So maybe in our honorable mentions, we talked about the Overlord. So the Overlord could be cool on the top end as a 1 or 2 of. It gets you a couple tokens, activates your area abilities when it comes into. The tokens, however, are not enchantments, but that still could be a really neat way to go wide. And then that actually makes the deck even more expensive because the Overlords are mythic. But overall, though, we have a lot of uncommons. Yeah. And then Champions is rare. Then we do have some commons packed in with Witness Protection, Grand Entryway, but then Entity Tracker's rare, Calix is mythic, and then the mana base is just very expensive. So again, base the mana base on your collection. Just be very careful with how you're putting it together. Yeah, I guess overall budget except for the mana base, right? Or relatively budget. And then that's another thing too. If you don't have all 4 Calix, you have a couple Calix, that's also fine. Just base it off of your collection for real. If you don't have any Calix, probably not worth it. And I mean, if you're thinking about crafting Calix, then you might just want to look into the Selesnya version if you enjoy winning and consistency. At the same time, though, it was still pretty cool to visit Bant, too. Like, we visited it for a reason. This was fun. It was neat. And then if you are going Selesnya, you'll probably skip the Anthem of Champions because there's no real great successful way to go wide enough to have the Anthem of Champions be significant on the board state, I would say. Like, that's really just in here to pair beautifully with that Gremlin Tamer, so. All right, guys, yeah, I'm pretty split on this one. I'm glad we changed the mana base a little bit. I'm glad I took the time to, like, drag it across and see it all. Because I actually do really like what I landed on now, and I think it will actually perform just a little bit better. Also, with Fabled Passage and 22 mana, it's going to be totally fine to thin the deck list with that 1 Fabled Passage when you see it, so. Okay, guys, wow. Enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video, for real, Y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.